Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie and you're watching Reliable Roots, and today's video is all about fall. This is a special collaboration with Rachel over at Day to Day Joy, so be sure to check the description box below for a link to that playlist. We are a homeschooling family of 3 girls, if you have never been to my channel before, and today's video is primarily focused upon homeschool crafts that you can do with your children or by yourself to decorate. But as a Waldorf-inspired homeschooling family, we have a nature table that we switch out for every season, and that is what we are going to be doing today. So what you are seeing is the last of our summer nature table as we pack it up and ship it out. And we are going to be putting out some nice fall colors, and we are going to get started on all of our fall crafts to put on our nature table. And the first project that I'm getting started on is a fairy house, and I saw some of these on Pinterest and I thought that this would be so much fun, but I thought I'd do a little bit kind of different fairy house than what I saw on Pinterest. Mine is going to be jigsawed out, so I'm starting out with a pumpkin, and I'm also going to do a maple leaf, and I'm going to jigsaw these out, and yes, I did that all by myself. I'm super proud, and I'm going to create a fairy house out of these. After they were cut out, I tried my hand at wood burning because I've had this wood burning kit for like a year, but it just was not working. It kept getting stuck and the words just weren't flowing. So I finished up the lettering on the pumpkin, but for the maple leaf, I decided to just get out my oil-based Sharpie, and that worked so much better. It was so much smoother to do. And after I finished the lettering on these, I gave them to my children to go ahead and color, and I gave them the colors of orange, red, and yellow. And of course, they mixed all the colors together, which is great because red, orange, and yellow all make orange, so we ended up with an orange leaf and an orange pumpkin for our fairy house. To assemble our fairy house, I just took some driftwood that we brought back from the beach the last time we went to there, and I cut off the edges with a saw, and I hot glue gunned the bottoms of that to the pumpkin, which is our first layer, and then on top of that I put the leaf, and on top of that I glued a few more driftwood pieces to make our roof. And the roof is just a piece of tree bark that we had on our summer nature table, and I really did not want to compost that because I just thought it was a really cool shape, so we made that into the roof for our fairy house. The next craft that I will be making is from the Forest Fairy Craft book. I've done Forest Fairy crafts before, and I will leave a link in the description box below to the mermaid tutorial that I put together a few weeks ago. I love this book, guys, and I will also leave it in the description box below, but it is so much fun. They have such great ideas, and there's actually a part 2 to this book that I'm going to be getting as well. But right now I'm just making the shape of the Forest Fairy. This is something that my kids love to make, and I'm going to be using 100% wool felt to make my fairies. Now, I got a package of this from A Child's Dream back in the summertime, and it has come in so handy. 100% wool felt is a lot more expensive than the acrylic felt, but the texture is phenomenal, and it lasts a whole lot longer without fraying than the acrylic stuff. So I'd like to save my wool felt just for making fairies so that we can save them from year to year for our nature table. And what I'm doing now is I'm tearing apart some of these flowers that I got from the Dollar Tree to make the skirt, and the leaves are going to be the wings on the back of the fairy. One of the many things that I love about the Waldorf education is that it emphasizes children making their own toys and teaching them how to make their own toys. So this is one of those crafts that my girls love doing because they can make their own toy and then play with them. They have so much fun making these with different colors and different shapes. Again, that book is phenomenal because it gives a whole different spectrum of options when it comes to different types of fairies. Next up, I will be working on the hat, and that is just simply a triangle with a little bit of felt at the bottom in a jig-jag kind of pattern, and I'm going to sew on some sequins, sew that up together, and then I will glue that on the head. And for the head, I'm just using a wooden bead. And one of the fun options about this is that yes, you can draw a face on the head, but I kind of like to leave it blank because that gives it imagination. So if the kids are having a happy fairy, that fairy can be happy, or if the fairy's angry or mean, it can be whatever the kids want at that moment. For the hair, I'm just taking 2 different types of yarn and gluing them onto the head, and to secure the hat, I'm going to hot glue that onto the wooden part of the head and to the back, and then I'll just cut off the very ends, give the fairy a little hair dress, and she's all done. So the next craft that I'm going to be making is wool pumpkins. I've really started getting into wool felting over the past year. It's a really fun pastime. You can really make anything out of wool felt. So I'm starting out by making the shape of the pumpkin. I'm just rolling up some this is alpaca wool into a ball, and on top of that I'm going to start adding my colors of orange, red, and yellow, and I'm just adding it with my sharp needle until it makes a ball shape, and then I'm going to go through with the needle to create the different lines of the pumpkin. On top of that, I'm going to be adding a little bit of brown for the stem. I'm going to mix some brown and green together to make the leaf, and then I'm just going to roll out some green to make the pumpkin vine. And you can see the other pumpkin that I did earlier. I just love these. They're so adorable, and they're going to make great decorations on our table. The next thing that I'm making is your normal fall wreath, except this one is going to be hung above our nature table, and I'm just taking a normal wreath shape. I got this from Michael's for like $3, and I'm just going to be adding some of those Dollar Tree flowers to our wreath, and I'm also making a sign out of some scrap wood that I got out my husband's shed to just say welcome fall. I messed up the first time on that, so I had to redo it on the other side, which is why you see that. And then I'm just going to attach some acorns to that with some hot glue and hang it up. The next craft is again from the Forest Fairy craft book. I'm going to be making one of the pumpkin fairies. This is such a cute fairy. I just had to make her or him. I'm not really sure what it is yet. But they also have a Halloween fairy that I'll be making once it gets closer to that point. But with this one, you only need one pipe cleaner, and you can see how to adjust the arms, and then you just shove the fairy into the pumpkin, sew around the edges, stuff her, and finish sewing the lines and the edges. And for her hat, we are going to add a leaf for the pumpkin vine, and then she's all set to go. What is fall without scented pine cones? So for this craft, I had my girls get some pine cones from out in the yard. I'm just going to spritz them with some essential oils of cinnamon and clove mixed with water, give them a good shake in the Ziploc bag, and I kept these for about a month to really infuse the smells so that they smell really good. And for my next craft, I am just making some falling leaves to hang above our nature table. I'm going to be using a piece of driftwood that we got back from the beach, and I'm just using some Dollar Tree leaves. I'm going to sew them and just hang them randomly from the piece of driftwood to look like there are leaves falling on our nature table. And to finish up this video, I'm going to leave you with our autumn themed chalk drawing for our homeschool classroom. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, I would love to have you as a subscriber. And also don't forget to check out that playlist link and go watch all those other fabulous YouTubers. Thanks again, Rachel over at Day to Day Joys, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!